Hello again, everybody, and welcome to episode 3 of Tim Collects. So, thank you to all of you who've been watching the other episodes and giving us comments. Appreciate that very much. And just a quick reminder, if you would, subscribe to our YouTube channel, which goes by the same name, Tim Collects. So today we're going to talk about the Atlanta Braves and the great Hank Aaron. So if you were given the job or given the choice of bat boy at Wrigley Field, like I was so fortunate to do, if you had a choice between being the bat boy for the home team, the Cubs, or the road team, the visiting team, I'm curious which one you all would choose. I know I didn't actually have a choice for me because Cubs wasn't on the table, but I was very happy to be the bat boy for the visiting team. Got a different uniform every 3 days, got to see the entire National League, all of the stars, be in the clubhouse with them. To me, that was just every time a new team came in, it was thrilling. And one of my all-time sports heroes as a teenager was the great Hank Aaron, who of course was chasing Babe Ruth's home run record at the time. So that record by Babe Ruth, 714 home runs, is one of the most famous records in all of sports. It's one, if you ask the average fan how many home runs Babe Ruth hit, they would know that number, 714. So in the summer of 1973, this was a big deal in the sports world. And where Hank went on the road, lots of reporters and lots of attention followed. You could tell it was a building thing. And Hank came to Chicago with 701 home runs, so he was over 700. And the big issue was going to be, with 6 weeks remaining in the season, whether he could somehow get to the record. So I've got for you to show a nice Hank Aaron game-used bat. It's a A99 is the model number, with 44 as a uniform number written on the knob there, and it's got a beautiful script signature on there. It's a really nice piece of lumber. Hank Aaron bats these days are all going for north of 10,000 a piece. And the one thing about Hank was he was such a good hitter that he never broke any bats. So it was difficult to get your hands on a Henry Aaron bat if you were a solicitous bat boy like I was and you're looking to build your collection. Hank Aaron was a really tough get. He just didn't get jammed on pitches. Too smart, especially towards the end of his career. So back to being the bat boy. Whenever a new team came into town, I had this great benefit of getting my picture taken by this nice lady, Japanese descent. She came to a lot of games, and I first met her. She was telling me, "Look, I take your picture. I give you pictures for you. You have them with players. Ask players and take pictures." So I got into the habit of doing that, and we have a whole bunch of pictures, which we'll show you on this on Tim Collects. A whole bunch of pictures from that era. Now, the one that I really wanted at the top of my list, of course, was a picture with Hank Aaron. And Hank is a guy with a lot of demands on his time, so this is going to be a somewhat tricky thing. As a bat boy, you really don't want to bother the players when they're at work doing batting practice and things. You don't want to be interrupting their focus, interrupting what they're trying to do that particular day. So I knew this one would be tricky. So it was the August of '73, the last trip in for the Atlanta Braves of the year, and my last series with the Braves as bat boy, because next year I would be finished as bat boy. So I was down to my last chance. I've been bat boy for 2 years, seen Hank Aaron a few times, but did not have a picture. So I wanted a picture bad. So I had everything all set there. I had my lady with her camera, and I saw Hank he was over by the dugout, and looked like he had a little free time. So being a shy kid, I summoned up my courage, and I went over to the great Hank Aaron, and I asked him if he would mind taking a picture with me. And much to my disappointment, he said no. He said, "No, can't do that. No, not now. Can't do that." So I felt really bad, because I felt, you ask someone something like that, and basically I felt like he was telling me, you're a pain in the ass. You're not supposed to be doing that. So I went and I sat on the bench, and not going to ask anybody else for pictures. I had to tell my nice lady. I said, "No, it doesn't look like it's happening today, so I'm not going to get that picture with Hank Aaron." So I'm sitting on the bench, minding my own business finally, and at the other end of the bench, Hank is now sitting down with the manager of the team, which is the great Eddie Mathews, a Hall of Famer in his own right, hit over 500 home runs before he retired just a few years earlier. So Mathews yells over at me. He says, "Hey kid," he goes, "Where's that camera?" And I go walking over to him. I was like, "What camera?" He goes, "The camera to take the picture." And I said, "Oh my God, I'll see what I can do." So I charged out of the dugout, and I was able to find my friend, the photographer. And this is the only time I ever asked to borrow her camera. She had a nice professional camera, not just a little rinky-dink, but a really nice camera. So I asked her if we could take her camera, and she said yes. She let me have it. So I brought it back, and Eddie Mathews says, he's looking at it. He says, "How does this thing work?" So Eddie Mathews, the manager, he took my picture that day, and you'll see it on the tape. But here it is for the filming. This is the picture that resulted. I got my photo that day with the great Hank Aaron, and I was one happy camper.